Okay. Good morning, Bucha. Good morning, Crypto Shorts. We got our buddy Max, who's on our dev team, on the show today, and of course we got Mana, the amazing founder of Crypto Alpha. I guess we're calling it Alpha World now.
Yeah,
We launched a partnership with Alpha World and our Bags Tapper this morning. They got submissions in their game. We got submissions in our game. It's a big, huge, happy family. So if you guys are seeing that, that's fantastic. We also just dropped the R1 clothing set, so people can get in there and start increasing their mining power by upgrading all that stuff and yada yada yada. So we got lots of stuff going on. Ramana, how are you doing this morning?
yeah, I'm doing good. I we we are about to launch a collab with a very with a another partner Telegram project which has over 800K subscribers. So I'm just a bit nervous. I'm trying to make sure my app if I get a lot of users
It
suddenly, my app
scales.
doesn't crash. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm
Oh,
load testing it, making
that's a
sure
great
that
fucking problem right there. That's really good.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, the been working on that since morning. What about you guys?
cool. Doing good. I was telling the guys that it's been an extremely productive day for me, so I'm happy for that. And as Corey just mentioned, the R1 theme just dropped today on the Launchback Stapper. So yeah, that has me very excited.
Nice.
It
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
very nice. Can we already
yeah,
equip it? Or do
yeah.
we still need to keep it for the...
Well, the tasks to equip will be created at the end of the season, both for AI God R1 and the next theme, which will be the Fed. The three tasks will be created at the end of the season because people will receive an airdrop of those three tokens. So that will be the first airdrop of our history
The whole
and
time. Yeah, yeah.
of the season in general. But it's really cool because I was telling the guys, and I don't want to use all the time because we have Manas here, but I was telling the guys that I have fully defined the rules for how the R1 game will work, and I think that you want some R1 at the current price because then it will be very expensive. So it's up to you guys.
Get on it or don't get on it. Get on or get off it. All right. So, Mana, fill us in. Last I feel like the last month there's been tons of stuff going on for Alpha World. So give us a little bit of a update, a little bit of a synopsis of what you guys have been up to.
Yeah, I like a month back. We toned down a bit on development part. Before that, we were just building out features, and then our partnerships were more towards vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, okay, let's drop development part to just 20-30% and just focus on partnerships. Getting more users on board from the town. So we were able to get one or two partnerships from Tonchain already, and then there are many others in pipeline. So that's been really well. And then we experimented with a lot of advertising campaigns on different platforms. One of the reason we rebranded to Alpha World is also this, because the moment a lot of these platforms see the word crypto, they instantly reject the advertisements, right? So that has been all the grind, right? So like half of my day goes into just chatting, checking up on different people I'm reaching out, and then signing a partner on board. One thing I've realized is that as we grow larger and larger, it gets very harder to retain users. So we need to keep doing engagement activities. So now we have a whole month or two on loop with different events coming up and fully automated. That really helps keep up the engagement and then make sure users are motivated each season. And then we have Clash of Alpha going on, right? So it's a big prize, and then it's a very competitive competition. Like I see the top ranks flipping every time. Like, I log off my screen and then I come back after 2 hours, I see another person on top. And then I log off again and there's another. And then people are like so close together. Uh, and we also want to find a fair way to make sure that all the people are rewarded, because it's super competitive. So it doesn't make sense to reward just the first person a lot. But yeah, like, obviously the top 10 have done a lot of work compared to top 20 or 50. So we're just finding a fair distribution. uh, yeah, but that's mostly around it, like keeping the engagement up, and then getting into tone and
Yeah.
revamping our branding. Yeah.
Yeah, that's we're super focused on that too. I'd love to be interviewing a different ton app or project every day on the show, just to really dig into that stuff. So when you're talking about stuff to kind of keep people engaged, could you give us examples of sort of your favorite ways to do that?
Yeah, I mean, so we have daily codes which come at 12, basically 00 UTC and 12 UTC daily. How we make it fun is that usually these codes give just alpha, but sometimes they give woof, sometimes they give like real rewards, right? USDT. Sometimes they give activity points for leaderboard, so you never know, what you're gonna get. And second, there are boosted rewards for top 10, right? So how competitive that top 10 spot is, that within 3 seconds 50 slots are taken for every code. So
Wow,
people are literally waiting on their
they're
screens
just
for,
watching for it.
yeah, 50
That's
seconds,
awesome.
and then every time a different user gets it. Like there hasn't been a single bot instance, and then every time I monitor, like, it's always a different person, or then different. And then people are very prone to committing mistakes also, so like it's really fun. And then we make it even more fun, because when we see that there are a lot of active members in the group, we drop even more codes randomly in the chat, and like, to make them have fun. And then these codes are super fun. For example, that we love you all, right? And then I will be like, hey, I think like that was the last code, and then after 5 minutes I will drop another, and the code will be, I'm not done yet. So like these mini activities, right? On the tapper, it's more of different pop-ups, where, like, let's say we see user doesn't know about Clash of Alpha, right? So we give them a pop-up showing, hey, this is a event going on, and you can easily rank up within 100, top 100, and you will get real rewards. Then we send lock chest to people. So let's say we wanna get a user engaged again, he has stopped using the app. We'll send him a notification where we'll say, hey, if you join, you will get a random chest. That random chest has different prizes, but one of the prizes with like 5-6% probability is 10 USDT, right? So we do all of these like mini loops within the game.
Yeah,
And then, yeah,
sorry, go ahead, finish that.
yeah, the most engaging is the, like, once we get users into Clash of Alpha, the moment they realize how easy that is, and then they have to just come twice and do the same activities, and then they can land in the top 100. That part becomes the most engaging part, right? Because that almost covers everything in the app.
What's Clash of Alpha?
Clash of Alpha is a monthly contest we run with 500 USDT and 5 million Alpha point rewards.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And so how do you compete in that?
So everything you do in the app, like, there is a detailed guide on it. Like if you go to leaderboard and click on the info icon, but like let's say you mine, you get points. You do daily check-ins, you get points. You watch advertisements, you get points. Advertisements, there are 15 advertisements every 8 hours, right? So you watch advertisements, you get points. You enter codes, you get points, right? So if you enter more codes than the others, you get more points. So like it pays to be even active in the community chat, because we'll drop randomly more codes. You complete missions, you get points, right? And then like there are other random things. Sometimes you drop codes which just give you like a very big boost of activity points on the leaderboard.
Mhm.
So all these kind of activities, right? So the way we have designed it is that we don't want users to sit like glued to our screen every second of the day, but rather they can come in, like check in thrice a day, and then do all these activities, and they can be competitive. uh, and like, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I really like that too. Like even the ability, I want to sort of map out a use case for, more professional people or whatever, but they still want to be plugged into the ecosystem. They could even come once a day. They're probably not going to be, top 100 or whatever, but they're still going to be able to, kind of come in and feel like they're at least, moving things forward and sticking around, and like they've got some dopamine hits or whatever. That what you were saying with the notifications I've seen, in different, kind of places with different products or what have you. I really love the idea of having when people log in, having some kind of pop up to just grab that grab the attention. And again, like something we haven't, because we're still developing kind of the core stuff, but getting into that point where it's like random surprise and delight. Like there's just something that's gonna like pop right up on your screen. You're tapping away, and like suddenly you got some more points or like a random level up or whatever it is, right? And just so that you don't know, you have no freaking clue. When there's going to be something that's going to, pop up and be, surprising and entertaining and feel, really fun. I like that too, about how you're, basically, all the different kinds of activities that you have on there. You sort of, if I understood properly, like with the monthly thing, you're sort of accruing points on all of that stuff, and giving people points for that. It's fun.
Yeah, and the best part is it's a like with enough users, it's a revenue positive strategy, right? So we are not just we are taking time of users, but we make let's say even today we are making like about $100 to $150 in revenue from ads, right? The ads that users watch.
Yeah.
So collectively, like the revenue that we make, it will easily break even, and then we can even sustainably continue doing these pools, and then even like allocate a part of it to the airdrop that comes in the future for liquidity, right?
Yeah.
So like the best part about this is it's very sustainable strategy, and then you can scale it up also with users.
I like it.
Yeah, that's interesting how you're handling that. Interesting.
I like it a lot. All right, well, Max, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell everybody watching who you are. He's busy. He's busy rocking the crypto alpha like it's his freaking job. I hear ya.
I find it very interesting that you consider doing ads. I didn't even thought about it at all. I was so focused on like, oh, we need to give out crypto. We need to do something. Ads, man. It's been around so long, and it just completely slipped my mind. But
yeah, it seems like, well, and I think, man, you were telling us before, I think Danish was talking about it too, like the systems to integrate ads into projects is apparently relatively easy with Telegram.
Yeah,
it's very easy to integrate. So like it took me 10 minutes to integrate my project, and then I just needed to add a backend API which could reward users for it. That's all. And then the app we are using is AdsGram. And way it works is you just set up a campaign there, and then you tell them that what's the reward URL you want them to hit once the user watches the ad, right? And then they will pass the user ID with it. So we just take in that endpoint, and then we just convert it. That's all. Reward the user.
Yeah, that's cool. I love the idea too of like, you're sort of, watching the ads to get the points. Great. But then, the revenue that comes into that, you're saying that you're sort of sending some back to the community, having some, building some up for, initial liquidity when you do your drop, which is really great. That's like just kind of creating that virtuous cycle to get the engine really knocking over.
It gives like for a project who is like which is self-funded and has no funding from others.
Yeah.
It's a very good way to bootstrap it. Like so we have now some footing to go on that. Hey, we have this revenue which we can divert, and when we launch, we can make a launch success because we are funneling our revenue through that.
Makes sense. So, Max, how long have you been working with the NetBlocks team?
Ooh, I stopped counting like a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
I
Okay,
think it's 3 years already, right?
Yeah, I think Max
I'm
is. Max joined, I think, just after the Nifty token sale when we were expanding the team. Oh, what happened to Manan?
He went audio only.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Max has been here since basically since the beginning. He's the first real front-end developer that we hired.
True.
Well,
Yeah.
I like it. Well, Max, thanks for joining us this morning. And actually, you know what? Before we go any farther, I have a little present just for you.
I'm a hot dog. I'm a hot dog.
That's his favorite. What are you gonna do? So, Matt, can you tell us who the project is, or like how this new partnership, the big one, came about? You're muted, Matt.
Uh,
Movement on, right?
Yeah.
We connected through I am part of Town Nest program, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we connected like with a lot of other projects also. My chats are open with a lot of other these projects. But yes, like these guys were super early, and then they reached out to me. I like read about the project. I really liked their idea, and then I thought like if I went to a group, I found that the community is actually really good, and then the guy has been like also it's very intelligent. So we help we help them grow initially, and then I think they have now about 2,500 users, and the app hasn't even launched yet. Uh, so like the partnership that we did, that's just a starter partnership for them. They have a lot of other partnerships coming up, and then when they launch the app, we'll do even bigger partnership with them. So like my philosophy with that is, if we can't reach out bigger projects, go reach out to smaller projects that are building something good, add value to them, and then later they will also pay back the value with you guys. So that's how like my mindset is
Yeah.
when I'm approaching others.
I
Obviously, I'm
absolutely.
also a bit bigger, but
Yeah.
like it's very very low conversion rate with bigger projects.
Yeah, well, and again, like the if you're playing or collaborating with people that are sort of in your order of magnitude or kind of closer to where you're at, you can actually start developing relationships, right? And those relationships mean you can actually do some building that'll be far better than just getting a tweet from some influencer or whatever. Those things build. I think like they compound over time when you're actually building real connections with other teams.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. Your voice got cut.
Oh, sorry. I think you're back now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say like the when you're starting to develop real relationships, that can kind of compound over time, right? Like if you might be helping somebody
Exactly.
out right that's not huge now, but 3 months from now they're freaking massive, and they sort of return the favor or whatever. That I much prefer that. That's a lot of fun. Now, granted, any projects out there that have 10 million freaking players that want to come and partner with us, I'm not gonna say no. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Another thing that worked really one with us is we supported the creators who are like publishing for us, right? So, for example, there's a creator called Rob Kingdom. He has a YouTube channel with about 2K subscribers, and then like he was creating content for us like about Clash of Alpha and everything in Spanish on there. So he reached out to us, hey, I've published content about you guys, can you share it in your community? I was like, why just share it? Let's create a mission and let's have users watch it, right? So we gave him that initial amplification, but now that single video has about 5,000-6,000 views, and every day we get about 70-80 new users from like that video.
Wow,
Just that video. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
I think YouTube is like people. If tappers are the meta, people are hunting on these social channels, like YouTube and everything, right? So supporting all the creators who are building content for us, I think that's also another really great strategy.
Yeah, that's fun, and really like
Yeah,
that
for
again.
sure.
It's got that the collaboration aspect to it that's really cool. Yeah, it's sort of I can kind of see that creating. I mean, that's sort of like the underlying thing that we want to try and build. With the shown with the channel, right? And we haven't succeeded at scale yet, but I think we're still sort of developing the chops. You get a video that has some good stuff, you can keep redirecting people back to that video over and over and over again, and then that video gets more organic views because it's getting more views, and then you get more views because it's getting more views, right? You get that sort of hopefully that little viral cycle going on.
Exactly.
Like I said, just make a 10-hour version of the hot dog. I'm a hot dog, and it will go viral, no problem.
Of the what? What's
10
that?
hours.
Oh, 10 hours of I'm a hot dog.
Yes.
No,
I'm a
man.
hot dog. I'm a hot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, it's the little things in life.
10 hours, please. Just
Yeah. If that was true, I would say go and do 10 hours of I'm a hot dog with my ass in that video.
With your
If
ass.
you
Wow.
want.
That's
Just
exciting. I mean,
go and do it. But I think that
there's
what we should have is someone grinding and getting those people to the show and getting interesting guests. That's what we
Yeah,
really
I'm
need to
like,
get this viral.
do we have better priorities? Yes. But we don't know if it's not going to work until we've tried it. Now, am I
You
gonna
can,
am I
and I said
am
you
I
can
gonna
try
make a
it. You
10-hour
can try
video?
it.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying, science would require us to test it thoroughly. Too bad it's not a priority. Yeah, we have some other
If you
things to
think
do
that's the
first.
solution, go ahead, man. Feel
Could
free to do it.
Could you imagine if both Max and I were like, cool, all that other stuff we're doing, we're actually going to work on this 10-hour video of I'm a hot dog. Sorry, we got to go do that. That would be that would be something. That would be a thing. So, with where you guys are at right now, what would you say? And it might be the video, but what would you say has been the thing that you've learned that was the most unexpected that's really working?
One is obviously creators. Like we thought YouTube, like we thought obviously YouTube is needed to get viral, but we thought like the scale would be very large. Like we need to have like 100K views to get effect. But we realized that YouTube is a very, very, very good quality leads, right? So those 70 people that are coming in daily from just that, it's like 70 on currently our 15,000 user base, which is a lot, right?
Yep.
So that's one. And then I've also observed these leads, they don't drop out because they don't just click on any random app and then came through advertisement, right? They actually know what the app does. They actually know what the incentives are for them. So it's like they get the education first and then they explore the app. Other than advertisement, where our conversion rate is far lower, and most of the users they come in and then they just do it for the mission or like they drop out, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's been one of the learning, and then we are also trying to double down on that, like creating virality through social content. Second learning is I actually so adsgram we actually like Tonus connected us to the CEO, and then they gave us like uh, a lecture, like a mentorship session on how the Telegram acquisition works, and they said
Mhm.
that it's very hard to grow organically unless like you get some KOLs and then some good quality traffic from consistent traffic from some source. But like organically, like just through the word of the mouth, it doesn't create virality, despite how others have shown it, right? Like the hamster, for example, the idea is
Yeah.
they grew viral, but they actually didn't grew viral. They actually have a very strong KOL network through which they marketed, and every KOL created the content tailored for their audience, right? So they actually grew like inorganic, right? And
Mhm.
they paid a lot of things. And then once they had enough footing, then they created virality factor through YouTube and other stuff, and then like they had added those loops, right, where everyone has to go watch a video and stuff. They gave
Yeah.
out value, but like like the virality factor came very later, and that's what also like added to me, because so far in the first 2-3 months I was trying to grow organically. We were stuck at like 2,500, 3,000 users for a while,
Yep.
right? Like growing very slowly. But the moment we focused double down on advertisement campaigns, we helped we helped started creating content. We added more social channels. Our discoverability increased, and then I have been like for the first time in the last 4 months, it's the first time when people are actually reaching out to me for partnership, like not just Wax users or Wax projects. Non-Wax projects are also reaching out to me for partnership. Like I'm not the first contact, but they are, right? So
Yeah.
that means that also came because we were advertising on a lot of platforms. So a lot of these projects discovered us, project owners, and they were like, okay, let's see what this app is doing. They see 14K users, and then they come us, and then they're like, okay, let's do collab.
Yeah, that's cool. You sort of like hit, a decent little critical mass where
Yeah.
other projects are interested, and that could be an entirely new audience for you guys, and that to me, that like the partnership with Collab thing is the most interesting to me. We've talked about sort of ads and doing that marketing thing out outside that, because I agree, like I think like the the invites and the sort of organic growth thing that's sort of baked into the game, I feel like it really does require a critical mass to really start to show dividends, right? Which means you just got to grind on literally everything else until it starts to book a little bit. Makes sense.
Yeah. One counterintuitive insight I found was that if you build something similar to what users already know, they are more likely to stay. And then the moment you try to complicate it, like even a little, like you have a very big drop off. For example, in the codes, right? People are most engageful and people love the codes most when I don't complicate it enough, right? So earlier I tried with misspellings, right? Or I tried to create a puzzle out of it where they have to hunt for bigger prizes, but we had a big drop off. The moment I made it simple, just check the code, input it, first 10 wins, like my rate skyrockets. So even on the app, right? So let's say it's a new user. If that new user suddenly sees his earn tab filled with missions, it's straight off drop off, right? But if they go to the app first time and they see only very few items, limited items they have to do, they do it and then close the app, they are more likely to return back to me tomorrow.
That's interesting. So you're like, and that's one of the things that I noticed with how you guys had organized it. Like all of our missions are sort of in its own page, right? Which I thought was kind of interesting. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting piece of data. So you're basically saying that like that when if you have I thought that it would be really good to have like a long list of missions, because then like somebody new shows up and they're like, oh my god, I can get like 15,000 points or whatever by doing XYZ or whatever. But that it's interesting that it might be better to have like 3-4 at a time, and you come back and there's new ones, and just sort of give people that reason to kind of come back and take little bite-sized pieces instead of trying to grind out the sort of. That's interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that worked really good for us because, for example, there were some missions where you need to hold an NFT, right? And the new user, the moment they see that, hey, like, okay, I need to purchase something for this, or I need to hold this, I don't even know what wax is, they just turn it off.
That's
right?
a lot.
They drop off and they go away. Now we have locked it, like all the wax missions, like which requires specific interaction with blockchain, after let's say 100K points, and then when you have linked your wax wallet. The moment you do that, you have super high engagement, and then you don't have these users drop off. And at the same time, the users who have already built into the system, they see, okay, hey, this is my opportunity to rank even higher. They are more likely to take the mission, right? Yeah,
that's interesting. So you basically like wait until people have they've been around, say, for more points, but like more days, right? So like say it's a week or what have you, like they clearly like they hit their 7-day check-in or whatever, and they're doing really good on points or what have you. That's when you could like trigger a pop-up that says, hey, if you add a wax wallet, there's these like 3 missions over here that might be even worth points that are like more attractive at that level, right? So it's not like you're going to get 1,000 points or whatever, but you could get like some sort of medium term, badass level points for sort of going that extra step. That's something that Juan and I talk about this all the time. So we have a whole vision for creating an environment where inside the app you can be playing around with basically virtual NFTs, virtual DeFi, all these different kinds of things, where the crypto of it is completely kind of kept out of what this new person is going to have to even think about it. The only time they're going to have to think about it is like, hey, I want to actually cash out. This says I have like $25 worth of stuff if I sell these NFTs on Nifty or whatever, right? And then that's when
I think you are really really short there. I have here $25,000 worth of NFTs, worth of DeFi rewards, worth of whatever, and I want to cash out. If I was for $25, sorry, that's not my target audience. I want people who wants 25K, who wants 50K, who want to go to 100K. Less than that?
Yeah, no, keep trying to do a good time. Hey, of all the
Manas,
times you've
don't go away, man. This is real. I'm not bullshitting you. That's what I
That's
want.
funny. I want a pony as well. No, like of all the times that we've disagreed, this is my favorite because I completely agree. I was just trying to be reasonable. Fuck being reasonable. It's boring. But yeah, like that, like being able to like very slowly and very comfortably lead people into this stuff.
Yeah, and you know that's I think it's very important because on Friday we had here Danish crypto, and he's very into the Ton ecosystem, very into the Tapper apps and so on. And he says I'm no longer playing any new Tappers unless I know that they are building a product, that are doing something that is different from the others. Because what's the point of tapping, only tapping? There has to be something more.
Could losing man a little bit.
Manas,
you back?
are you still there, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. So I think a lot of this feeling comes from like last 2-3 drops that went really bad. For example, Pixel Wars and even Catizone. People are not so happy with them. And then a lot of these apps, even I have like tapped for like 3-4 months, and then at the end of the day, they are just like, okay, now phase 2 is starting. What the fuck does it mean, right? Like I've spent 4 months of my time, and then you're like phase 2. What's the airdrop? When the airdrop? So I think like not even product, to be honest. Obviously, a product that you guys will build in the future makes sense. It may come early, but I think what's more important is to tie one being transparent about how the airdrop is going to happen, like whether you will lock it behind shady DZ event, or like give Binance more than the whole users accumulated in 5 months or 6 months. Rather than that, being transparent about what users are going to get, and then fix a date which users can work towards, right? I think that works better. Even when the moment we have described or like studied, like our ads where we show confirmed airdrop work has way better click through ratio than the ads where we say, hey, there's a monthly comp. So people love confirmed airdrop more than like any other thing. We ran 6-7 different campaigns, and this was the most performing one. And the ad was simple, confirmed airdrop, no shady DZ, no bullshit, 31st December. That's it.
Yes.
And then it had like a click through ratio of 15%, whereas other ads were like 5%. So
Yeah, I
That's
think that's
very
important. And it's a very good point. Yeah, transparency, no bullshit. This is how it will work, and stick to that.
yeah.
Yeah. Although sometimes things need to have some flexibility, but I majorly agree with what you say there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but if you can
users will
depend on something.
understand if you're working towards it. Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, if you can depend on something, it's easier to stick with it. Like if you know, oh yeah, like the same with the seasons. We know it's gonna end in this many days, but if we know something is gonna happen that time, then you know what you're working towards. So it's like this: you have a time and you have a goal, and if it's
Yeah.
consistent, that's amazing.
yeah.
And I think if users see you working towards it, let's say even if let's say at the end uh, you can't make that happen on that particular day, but you need to move it 1-2 weeks here and there. If you drop a sincere message to the community, I think I'm very sure they will understand, and then they won't be bothered by it, like moving the timeline 1 week, 2 week. But I think adding a goal work adds more positive than negative.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
And I do, and again, you want to stick to it as much as possible, right? You don't want to have like months and months and months of leeway because you don't want to drag people along, right? Like the more transparent and sort of if people are actually coming and giving you their time, I think we should respect their time as much as we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool beans. Wait a minute, where'd that thing go? Did that come up on there? Nope, that's not the one I wanted. But TC, that's hilarious.
Oh,
There's been an R1 Fat Thumb. Do you have any alpha codes for anybody right now? Apparently.
Yes, let me create some a code and share.
I mean, we're gonna be dropping one too every time we do an FT show. Right around halftime, actually right around now on the show we drop the code word, because it's not just that you have to come and watch the show, you have to drop the code word in there as well. So I'll do it too. Let's go to town.
So the code is Nifty Show Rocks.
Oh,
Awesome.
cool.
Let me get this in here. Is it all capital or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. The app will fix it.
Okay, cool. Nifty Show Rocks. Thanks, man. Booyah. All right. Throw this in here too.
Yeah, I think it's also time for us
Yep, doing it.
to share the word of the day, Corey.
Doing it. Boom. All right. So when people put the code in your system, people can see their ranking on how fast they got it.
Yeah. They will see whether you got first rank to 10th rank, and if they are not within the top 10, it will tell you that you were not among the top 10 winners.
I didn't realize
That's
there were
cool.
spaces.
You know, Max, we should have a feature that the amount of points that you received when you enter the code for the Nifty show depends on how fast you entered since it was published.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And have it be completely regressive in like maybe tiers or something.
Yeah, something
think-
like that.
Right?
We have a limit on it, like the first 300, so it could be easily done. Like if you're the first or third or second, or
You just like if you're in the first 10, it's this much. If you're in the first 50, it's this much. If you're in the first 500,
Yeah,
it's
we
this
could
much.
do it
Right?
like that. Yeah, that could
That'd
be cool.
That'd be very cool.
And another leaderboard for that.
Right? Yeah, Red. That's been standard with us for the beginning, as far as like the 10-minute one. Because these video watching things are going to be around for a little while. So once you click into that, there's a 600-second 10-minute cooldown, and then you can put the code word in there and rock on it. So yeah.
Yeah, you always have to wait 10 minutes for the one on the Nifty show.
Mm-hmm.
But have you already shared the one from the Nifty show, Corey? Not yet, right?
Yeah, I did. It's in the comments.
Yes, you did. Oh,
Yeah, it was in the comments.
yes. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Yeah.
that's
Sorry,
okay.
I missed it.
No, I put it up there, and I had the other one up there. And again, for anybody that missed it, the alpha code one apparently has spaces in it. I had it when I put it in the comments. It was just Nifty Show Rocks with no spaces. Apparently, the spaces. That's very important. Thank you, Red.
No, spaces
So,
don't
yeah.
matter.
They don't
You
matter?
can enter with or without
Huh?
spaces. You can even misspell one letter. We'll pick it up.
Huh.
You're too good there, Manas.
That's fucking
Should
pretty
be
solid
strict.
work.
People have to type correctly.
They're
It's good.
already,
Sometimes
they're
we all make
already
mistakes.
20 to the code.
That's awesome. All right, so Mono, and it doesn't even have to be crypto, like literally anything out there in the world. What are you most bullish about right now?
I think like that's something that Corey you love, but Johan is like skeptical. It's AI, but not in the sense that supercomputers are gonna take us over. They're gonna do our jobs. But like how I see AI is it's an extension of us, right? So for example, I'm really good at coding, but I am not so good at design, right? So as an individual, it's my extended arm where I can also imagine in my head, and then I can use AI to put that into like a work of art, right? So it scales up human beings like no
Yeah.
other technology has. I think it's the biggest scaler
Yeah.
there is. Yeah.
I think you got me wrong there, because I'm not. It's not that I'm not bullish about AI. I'm completely bullish about AI, and I see a lot of risks with AI, which I don't like. But I think that it's an amazing tool if you know how to use
Yeah.
it. But I think that there's people who thinks that AI can go too far and that it's too good. And it's not true. AI, it's still not there. It will be very soon, but it's not there. And people
Yeah.
already relies on it or acts as if AI was the solution for everything. And it's still not the best solution for everything. You have to be very careful with that. That's my biggest worry with AI. There's a lot of irresponsible people thinking that it's the best thing since sliced bread, and it's still not there.
Okay, even right now, it is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm
No.
completely comfortable saying that.
No.
Screw sliced
Yeah.
bread. Sliced bread is boring.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry to say that, Corey, but if you think that AI is the best thing,
Since
you know
sliced bread.
nothing about life.
Okay. I mean,
There's
one.
so many
One.
beautiful
Hold
things
on.
in life
I
that
gotta
are
wash the
much better
tire
than
tracks
AI.
off my chest.
Man,
Seriously, I love when like you bring a spoon to a nuke fight with Juan. He'll literally just like body slam you, like, "Oh, you're having this slight disagreement with me? Cool." Anyways, Juan drops bombs. Sometimes they happen to drop on me. That's fine. But yeah, no, I was comparing it to sliced bread. Anyway, but I think the way you described it was perfect. I mean, that's been my experience with it, right? Like I am imagining what it's going to be like, 3, 4, 5 years in the future, and that's what freaks me out, like in a good way, frankly. I mean, there's going to be challenges, but that's really, really exciting to me to sort of imagine where it's going to be. So I think I want to try and, at least in my own experience, position myself not for where it is now, but for where it's going. But for me, like my real world experience with it, I'm not a coder. I now like fuck around with coding. And so like in the same way that like, it's sort of helping you with design, like I could never have imagined to be, trying to fuck around and build with that stuff. So it's this extension of my abilities as well, which is cool.
I fully get you there. And that's what really worries me. I'm not an active coder anymore. I was a coder for a long time, and now I'm not actively coding. I still write some code, but not every day. And for example, I will never be as fast as Max. But it really worries me that there's a lot of people who thinks that they can code and that publish to production code generated by AI. And that for me, that's scary. That's extremely scary. It will be less and less scary maybe because AI will get better at that. But right now, it's freaking scary thinking that people think they can code because an AI created the code for them. What do you think about that, Max?
Well, I have a very strong opinion about it. I don't think AI will take over the world anytime soon. Any word that you say will still be converted to a number, so it's still a guessing game. And that will be continuing on a long time. So there is still like this plateau. The same that the strawberry issue was a very long issue for a long time because it does not know the word strawberry. It's just 7, 8, 5, 3, 2. Like how many R's are in a strawberry? I don't know. It's a number for me. So it's still like that problem. I think will continue on until we have
So hey,
like very
last week,
strong computers
okay, they
that
solved
can
it
do a
already,
little bit more.
right? So this is the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, they
Like
solved it.
that
But
one, it's already done.
No, but that's the problem. Like they come around an issue and they solve it. It's the same like that. What was it? The Google image version created like Nazis that were
Yeah.
different color. Like they patched that issue, but then if someone else does something, ask medical advice, it will create a completely new issue. Why? Because what it
So have you haven't tried
so
the preview yet, have you?
the preview, the other one,
Yeah, the new
no.
one. Okay, so they didn't solve strawberry by like hard coding. Please understand that there's like they didn't make it part of the large language model. There's a full reasoning model that you guys. I'm not going to say anything about it. Go try it because you're not going to believe me when I say anything because Juan's too busy throwing me under buses.
No.
But like go try it because it's fundamentally different from a reasoning perspective than it has been before, and that's how it's solving it. It's basically spending a lot of time thinking about it first, running plans, basically running like a multi-step reading stuff in the background, and then it's giving answers, and it's a significantly different experience. It's a lot smarter than it was last month.
Yeah, it's an agent now. Like it's asking itself
Getting there.
questions and it giving
Yeah.
itself answers, and then it continues on. Like it's it's the same thought process that we have. So
Yeah.
it's getting better, but it will still some things it cannot do. So one of the things with coding for sure is I didn't learn how to code in school. They didn't teach me anything. What they
Mhm.
learned me is how to ask questions and how to find your answers. And that's how you
That's
learn
cool.
programming. Like you learn by asking the right questions. You don't learn how do
Yeah.
I write SQL. No, you ask the library that you're gonna use, the specific code. Like if you are very specific about something, you can learn exactly what you need to learn. And right now with AI and like the chatbot, like you remove a little bit of step where people learn how to Google. Now AI is the one Googling for you pretty much.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, it helps a lot, but in the end, like you will still see a lot of those mistakes happening. And if AI cannot solve your problem, you're still gonna be stuck because you don't really understand the topic that you're
I,
asking
Yes.
it
I
to
mean,
create.
I
And
think
that
you're
is
hitting
sort of
on yeah, you're hitting on a point that like I've been enjoying a lot because that like I completely agree, right? Like the anytime I use AI, the only outputs that I'm going to get that are of any quality is if I'm asking a good question, right? If you ask a dumb question,
Mhm.
you know, like shit in is shit out, no matter what, right? Like that's how it
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be. And like my entire learning process around this has been trying to figure out a what I don't know, like b sort of come up with a generalized plan for something and start digging in. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what fucking I didn't know what half this stuff was at the time, right? So I'm kind of having to learn some of it to see what pieces are going to work or what isn't, just through like unbelievably ridiculous trial and error that I'm sure you guys would spend a lot of time laughing at, right? But for me, like this was not possible before, and now
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah. But I will ask you something there. Is that the right path to learn how to code? Will you become a better coder, or will you even become a coder because the AI is generating code for you without you fully understanding what's going on there?
I mean, I know you're just gonna say, "Oh, Corey, there's no fucking way," but yes, right? Like a year from now, AI is going to be 100 times smarter than it is right now. In fact,
No,
I think I'm learning. I think I'm learning more coding than I'll ever need.
I
I'm
think
trying to
that
figure out how to ask the questions.
the main thing here is that being a software developer is not about knowing how to write code, is knowing how to reason, is knowing how
Yes.
to solve problems.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond writing code. And I think writing code, and I can understand that for native English speaking people, it's harder to code because what you do with a computer programming language is that it's just a language.
Yeah.
And most of us, we were forced to learn a second, third, fourth language, and because of that, it's easy to learn languages. And if you have the proper reasoning, it's just another way of expressing yourself. It's just another language that you need to use. And of course, it's a way simpler language than natural language. So
Yeah.
for someone who's not English native speaker, I think it's easier to learn how to code because you already went through the process of learning languages several times in your life.
Yeah. No, I think that's very possible, right? Like the kinds of sort of intellectual rigor that non-English speakers go through. I totally see where that's gonna just make different analytical parts or different sort of translation parts in your brain work better. And the reasoning thing, like GPT-3 could write code. It was terrible, right? I couldn't do anything with it until GPT-4 came out, when there was like the basic bit of reasoning kind of baked into the model. And now, and again, like like have I produced anything that's worthwhile other than a few little automation scripts? No, right? But I want to practice in this space so that as it gets better and better and better, I can hopefully start asking better and better questions and figure out how to
Yes,
use the
and
tools.
in the end, all of that it's like a programming language, but you still have to must have the right reasoning, the right way of asking things to be created, the right order to create things, and the right order to do some things. So it's not that magically the AI will create you say, oh, create a program to do this. that's one of the biggest problems in software development. Users don't know the requirements of the
what do you actually
software
want
they
it to
need
do?
to solve a problem.
Right.
So the thing is not knowing how to write the code. The thing is knowing how to solve a real life problem through
Right.
coding and
Yeah.
and creating an application.
Yeah, what do you actually want? Because like you can go and have it make a chess game right now with HTML, and it'll make the whole chess game fine, right? But figuring out what kind of experience you want to actually lead people through, and going in like picking the different kind of elements, like watching you guys make the bags tapper and watching what Alpha Crypto's done. I fundamentally understand that I am completely ignorant when it comes to all the fine details of the user experience and how to bake all that stuff in, and I absolutely love that. And again, from my beginner's sort of perspective, I've sort of done like the Atari version of your guys' supercomputer version of that, right? Like having the little design decisions to figure out that I want to have it sort of let me save something here or let me do right, like just like little stupid shit. I'm at the beginning stage of this, but I totally agree, like that figuring out how to be in that software engineer, like the design thing, instead of just the like, I'm going to write this Python script to fucking make a calculator or whatever, right?
Let's go back to Mana. Yes.
Have you guys used Cursor AI?
I started a week ago.
Which one, sorry?
So
Cursor AI.
So it's a IDE built on top of Visual Studio, but like they have very well integrated with ChatGPT and Claude. Claude is another AI model, and then like I have paid API integrations with them. But Alpha World, 30% of the output of the code of the Alpha World is just AI. So like I think AI is far more like really good. Like the only thing you have to be aware about as a coder, like all like other people I have, they're aware about is when they're asking AI for help, like let's say edit a line or like improve a code or like figure out something out. We just have to be aware that it will make mistakes. So if you don't know what exactly you're looking for, then like it will all go down the drain, right? But if you know what you're looking for, and if you understand what the AI has given you, I think like you can do way good with AI. We write all our test cases with AI, right? So we just give a good enough context. We give okay, this is the file we want, these are the kind of test cases we want, these are the base cases. All the test cases are done by AI. We like, for example, Python is not my first language, right? I'm good with Python, but it's not my first language, so I don't know what are the different structs possible for to do this, how to optimize a particular language or equation. AI does it really well for me, and the best reviewer I ever had in my 7 years of career, like the code review, AI gives me the best code review ever. So I think if you use it right and then you are aware of its shortcoming, you can like really bootstrap a system. I like my personal benchmark before Cursor AI, after Cursor AI is my output has 5x time. Like if I spend 1 hour with Cursor AI, I produce 5x more like stuff than I would do in a normal computer.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Cursor so far, and I'm just beginning. I actually got a thing to actually get competent with the basics. But even just getting in there, to use Composer. Hey, I want to build this, especially now with the I was fucking around with the reasoning model from the preview from OpenAI, and it basically comes through all this stuff. And I used to have to like get it to make me, okay, if this is going in this file, I need you to redo the entire file because I can't do all the fucking indentations. I'm a moron, right? But now it'll give you a new snippet and you can literally apply the snippet and it'll automatically go to the file. Like just that for the dummy is so amazing to me. It's just like whatever the output comes in, it's actually going to be able to, understand which file it's supposed to be able to go into, understand where it's supposed to go, and paste it in there, right? Which again, for like you guys normal coders, you're like, fucking Jesus Christ, you're like completely 5 years old. I get it, but for me that was huge, and I know like that's not even what like anywhere near what it's capable of doing.
Yeah, for me, just one small comment there. The Python indentation for me, it's so amazing because I think that only a clear mind understands how to perfectly indent their code. But that said, going back to what Mana was saying, I think that he's completely right. AI is an amazing tool. If you want AI to test your code, if you want AI to go through your code and explain you what will be the result, that's amazing. And I think that we should be using AI to do that kind of things. There and even for some code snippets, some algorithms, you can ask AI and it will come with a very good solution. And if not the solution you expect, a very close approximation to what you were looking for, or it will at least help you to start working on the right direction. But the only thing that I think is that it's not ready yet to be the replacement of any developer. That's
like,
the
let
only
me
thing.
just, I have to, know that I agree with you right now.
Yeah.
I can't, if I could wave my magic wand and say, AI, please just make fucking everything for me, I would be doing that. I can't, right? Like, I have to, still have to work at this stuff. I don't know that it's going to be very long. But I mean, whether it's, a year or 10 years, I couldn't really tell you.
Okay, but now let's get out of things that are not blockchain and crypto related. And
Okay.
Manas, what excites you more on the blockchain space right now?
Poly markets, have you guys looked at it?
Yes, I love that, and I won't say more about that, but I love those. I really love that.
Okay.
Max, get ready because I already have the full design for this shit. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just okay. So can you tell me what Poly Markets is? From what Juan just said, I kind of have a hint now, but I'd love to know because I haven't seen it yet.
So, it's basically a prediction marketplace, same as what we are building, but they have right now about $1 billion worth of money like locked in through
Jesus,
different
a billion TVL? Oh, is that all? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they are now one of the first companies, I think, to be revenue positive, and then you just they have now become the proxy for like the news media, right? So let's say they're talking about elections, they are say like they mention poly markets, like it's give them a very good quality data. They're like, okay, Trump's probability of winning is 50% as per the poly markets, right? So they have become a proxy for like data insights and predictions about what's going to happen. Even I've seen a lot of users, like big influencers on Twitter, use them as a proxy. So I think that's a very, very like a unique phenomena that happened in blockchain. Other than that, the all these companies which are doing like international transfers using USDT, they are also the like also one set of companies that have become like find their product market fit and they're revenue positive. There are a lot of companies coming up, and almost every company like who have started and then was here like for at least a year, they are like a revenue positive now. So these two trends I see, like they excite me, and then they are the first things that make me feel that okay, it's all like it's all for something, right? There are use
Yeah.
cases that are finally come up which
Yes.
are revenue positive, and then which adds value to not just like money prints more money, like that's most of the applications on blockchain, right? But they are actually money brings in and value return.
Man, I'm gonna have to look into this because there's just looking at this map already. I would probably play some bets on some of those states. So that's that's interesting. And so it basically goes into to everything, right? Oh, there's even like a whole pop culture section. What the fuck?
No, it's really,
Oh
really
man,
cool.
this is nuts. Okay. Elon Musk number of tweets between September 13th and 20th.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and prediction markets are something really amazing. I think it's something we should be seeing more of that really soon. And some people think that prediction markets are betting, but prediction markets go way beyond that. It's really trying to make a prediction based on the knowledge that is spread across a lot of people. It's a way to gather information and give you an informed opinion about something. It's really, really amazing.
It can give you a gauge as to how successful that track was down the road too, right? Like there's
absolutely.
It's funny.
And you get rewarded according to your participation in that prediction. Right. Of course, if you are a trader, you can learn how to make a lot of money with prediction markets. That's also
right.
Also true.
It's yeah, no, it's I was like there's a science fiction book that I read a while back where an entire species was they did literally everything by this. They were completely, gambling fiends, but it ended up having this net result of being able to produce some crowdsourced intellectual outcomes, basically, right? Like that, if you're deciding and having to literally bet on every single outcome, then you're like just crowdsourcing awareness. What I'm really curious about, and maybe we'll see some stuff with this later on, the best people at it, or because we like, especially here in the States, the number of people that believe things that are factually obviously incorrect is very high. Like just obnoxiously, holy fucking shit, you would believe it if I told you the sky was a fucking donut, right? Like, why is this happening? So to me, maybe
What?
something
You
like
don't believe
this.
that?
Wait, it's not a donut? I
You
love you, Max.
donut denier.
Yes, I'm a donut denier. Now I want a donut. Fuck, Max. Maybe something like this can actually start to give us insights into how to more accurately read facts, right? Because if you're reading facts in a terrible way, you're going to be betting really, really badly on this election, and a lot of people will, and a lot of people will lose a lot of money. And fucking good riddance.
Yep. I can see
Yeah,
that.
but what you then sort of get is you will follow the mass.
Well, no, I think it's the opposite, right? Like it who I would want to follow is who's right 90% of the time, and what do they know that I don't, right?
Of course.
Ah,
And-
like yeah, if you
Yeah.
go to the
In that
person
sense,
that votes
yes.
it,
right,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
okay.
the figuring out the basically the people that are outside of that margin that are right more often than not, right? Like are they watching Fox News? No, they're fucking not, right? Like that, you could basically just like 1-to-1 ratio on that one, or whatever, right? Like but on everything else, like that, any kind of prediction, right? If it's like an AI prediction thing, I'll fucking lose money because I'm gonna say it's gonna happen tomorrow, and it's probably not gonna happen tomorrow, right? Like that. But like, there's gonna be those things where I want to find the people that are right an obnoxious amount of time and figure out why.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But now let's ask Max, what are you most bullish about right now?
What was the chicken something so?
Oh man, the smoking chicken fish.
I don't know why that keeps popping up. Like every time I watch, I hear that, and I'm like,
The smoking chicken fish.
What
I
is
haven't
this?
even checked the price right now. Let me check the price of the smoking chicken fish.
Check. You should check Polymart.
Yeah, can
Make a
we?
Polymart. Make will it go up?
What's going on? Yeah, I will create a market for that, a prediction market for that.
Okay, like I'm just looking they have the whole science. I'm gonna get obsessed with this, guys. Thank you for the poly market thing. Maybe, even though I'm probably gonna be entirely obsessed. The amount of data that they're collecting. So there's an entire giant section on science, right? So how many names started during the Atlantic hurricane season? Blah 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 blah. All this crazy shit. The amount of data they're going to be able to create on like weighted public opinion based on knowledge and the win-loss ratios, like the data that comes in underneath this is going to be kind of fucked up, like, and good, right? Like we might be able to start learning how to be much better at predicting things over time, especially with the fact that it's not like every dumb asshole wants to put a bet in or whatever, like do a poll on Twitter. No, you got to put money on this, which I find deeply fascinating.
Yeah, no, you can really get rewarded, and of course you cannot emit your opinion if you're not risking something. So that's what really makes it valuable.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, they'd be really interesting to get into a game like this. Anyways, so Max, you're going with smoking chicken fish?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't have
no
something
wrong
on top
answer.
of my mind. Yeah,
fair enough.
maybe a new token. Maybe smoking duck.
Smoking
fish.
duck. Oh,
Smoking duck.
Oh no.
Smoking duck. Oh, yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
I
too
need
many.
to quickly drop. I have another meeting, but it was really fun catching you guys.
My thanks for
Okay,
coming on, man.
it's good
Yes.
having you here, Manas.
See you, man.
Cheers.
See you.
Love that guy.
Yeah, Manas is really cool. Really,
Yeah.
really cool.
He's awesome. He's awesome. All right, so Max, is there anything else other than that thing that Juan really loves that you're bullish about? It doesn't even have to be in crypto. It can be anything.
No. Yeah, I'm not really. I'm just doing my thing, man. I just want to write software. I still.
I
oh,
like it.
Rust, my language.
Rust, yes.
Oh
I have
yeah.
to drop it once. I love
yeah.
it.
Okay, so
But it's
tell us about Rust because I know basically nothing about it.
Well, it's the first actual programming language that I learned.
Okay.
That I actually love doing. It's the TypeScript of programming where you get real help when you try to program, because most of the time when you go into a coding spree and you have no idea what you're doing, with Rust it tells you what you're doing wrong, or like, hey, you know what, you're trying to do this, well, that's not right, and like it makes it so easy to write something. It has a little bit of a curve, but I bought a book for once, and
There you go.
yeah, just reading through it, I really like it. But then again, like when I'm comparing it to sometimes what we're writing in JavaScript, like it's so easy to write something in JavaScript, and then it's like, why is everything
Does
in
it come down to
JavaScript?
like the logic runs different, or it's just you're more comfortable with Java because you've been like speaking it longer, writing code in it longer, or like what are the differences there?
The biggest difference is like JavaScript is always like it's very easy to write your piece of code in JavaScript. Like you can just write it and it runs and you're done. But the problem is when you need to do multi-threading, when you need to do something a little bit faster, or when you want to write it for a system that cannot install Node, or like those things, there is where programming languages actually come in. And for sure with Rust, like you have a lot more control over what's happening. And yeah, I just love it. I see even the US government is saying, guys, maybe go to a language like Rust instead of whatever you're writing before. And I think it's a good development. It makes things a lot more safer. I'm not sure if it's, they say memory safe. Well, it depends on how you write it. You can still write something horrendous, and then so it doesn't give you like a get out of jail card by just writing in that language, but it
Mhm.
for sure helps you a lot more. And I see a lot of developers just being happy with the language and adopting it more. So I'm very bullish for that language.
All right, no,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that Rust is a very interesting language, and for me, the fact that it is compiled, it already makes a big difference over like Python or JavaScript or whatever. So it's very cool. And performance-wise, it's a language that is compared to C. So that's also amazing. So yeah,
And
I think that's very, very, very nice.
and so it's like C, again, super ignorant. C is like it's been like the base programming language for a lot of stuff, right? Like it's a lot closer to the actual kernel. Or how would you guys describe C as a language that's different from Python, for example?
Well, the kernel is written in C.
Okay, so
and
that's okay. I thought I saw something about that, and I was trying to sound smart.
yeah, so no, but like the machine language is assembly, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think everything compiles eventually to that one, or
Eventually, yes,
something
but
that's
well, to ones and zeros. Eventually, not even assembly, but
yeah.
but no. For example, the thing with C, let's say that it's a very primitive language in the sense that you have to do your own memory management, and you you need a lot of knowledge and you need to take care of everything. A language like Rust will help you a lot by taking care of many things. It has mechanisms for memory management, mechanisms for threads, and so on, that make your life as a programmer easier without sacrificing the performance. Because JavaScript is one of the worst languages on earth performance-wise. Yeah. Or Python is not much better. So yeah.
Right, because like I can run, a Python script on my computer and that's fine. But the second you try and get a million people to run it, it'll probably just die.
Oh, no, don't worry about that. It will work, and you can make it scale with the good engineering practices. You can even make JavaScript scale enough with the engineering practices and the right hardware. You'll manage.
Okay.
But there are many startups who started writing their code using JavaScript, and when they became big enough, they said, "Okay, guys, let's use a serious programming language and rewrite everything." And the same for Python. It has happened with Python and so on, with many languages.
That's awesome. Thanks, guys. I mean, now I'm getting an education and I like it. No, that's
Could have asked ChatGPT.
What's that?
Could have asked ChatGPT.
Well, and I do.
Yes.
I do all the time. It's just nice to hear it from my friends. Yeah, no, I don't spend enough time asking it what it's doing like I did when I first started, but now like I've accomplished a couple things. I just I want to see how fast I can go from like some dumb idea I have in my head to like a thing that I can see on the computer screen. But yeah, when I'm being smarter, I'm slowing down and actually trying to figure out, okay, how are these things talking to each other? What are they? Like, what are they doing? Right?
Yeah. But for me, it's a little bit different. I try to do the same as you. I thought that I was smarter when I was writing the code. Now I think, I'm smarter when I know what I want, and I ask Max and Jose to code. I think that works in a much better way.
and Juan, I think that's like that's the muscle I want to develop, because I think that with how much things are sort of progressing. Yeah, I want to get to that point where I know enough that I can be leveraging AI earlier than everybody else. Because like down the road, however long it's going to be, 5-year-olds are going to be making applications with AI. That's just going to be a thing that happens, right? But like, how much can we get done in advance of that, and figure out how to build even better things or even cooler things? And it really, sitting in that intersection between what people actually want to do and are doing and why the fuck they would care about it anyway, right? Like that, anybody can make anything. Well, it's like like Wax, you build a Lamborghini, but if nobody knows about it, who cares? I don't know. I took that in way too many directions at once, for the record. I recognize that. At least it was in complete sentences, unlike some people in this country.
Which one? There are two of those.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a fucking thing about anything. Except I definitely going to make some money on the politics market, which is really exciting.
Maybe you're too late, because when you're in a prediction market, the earlier you get in,
maybe. I probably won't make a lot, but like I can see places where I think I know things that would make the current predictions wrong. And again, if I put money on it, fuck me if I'm wrong.
Well, if you want a safe bet, just go to the science part and just go to, will 2024 be the hottest year on record?
Right?
Oh yes, just say yes, and it's,
I don't even know. Wait, it's only. Oh, is that for? I'm trying to figure out what. Is that 4% no on that one? Oh, wait, September.
Oh no, that's the other
that's
one.
only 4%. So yes, it's 2024 September hottest on record. There's only 4% against it. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I have a lot of stuff to look at. It's really fun. Yeah, I had Launchpad Stabber to it. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. We'll show you.
Oh, we can make one. Will Launchback Stepper overtake Hamster Combat?
Right?
Oh man, don't bet on the wrong side, please.
That's a spicy one. That one.
So what
All
you
right,
gonna go for?
Well, guys, thanks for sticking around and giving me some more education because I am at least slightly smarter than I was 10 minutes ago. Yeah, with all the people watching. So yeah, guys, we'll be around tomorrow, of course. Make sure you get in there, do all the crypto alpha missions they have going on. Obviously, if you haven't tried it, go do that. There's all the crypto alpha missions that are in in the bags tapper right now. And of course, our code word is future for today. So, and of course, if you haven't noticed, R1 dropped, and I got to go spend a whole bunch of points getting that stuff done because I was saving up all freaking
Yes.
night.
And
It looks amazing.
guys, you
Nice.
already have it, Max?
Nice.
Of course.
Oh
Oh
my God.
man, you're crazy.
Somebody's
Yeah, guys, just on R1, and note for all of you guys, miners for season 2 will be sold for wax, not for R1. The R1, keep your R1, get more R1 because you will need it for something different. Okay,
Mm.
that's all I will say for now.
Good talk. All right.
Okay, are we in our limit? Yes,
I
let's
think
go.
I think it's good. We nailed it. Thank you for all the thumbs.